it's quite wet, but this is a hydro treated down bag, and you know what, I was as warm as ever. It's on low heat, so this is 45 degrees Celsius. I think we woke up at 6, so that's not too bad at going. And she's pretty clagged in, and we're gonna hang off left and drop down towards Tongariro. But I've got a little bit of a shortcut. Well, it's probably not going to be a shortcut. We're heading this direction, but actually not going back to Tongariro. But if you're heading back to the hut, you got an hour 45, and we will be heading past Waihohonu Hut. It's like Lord of the Rings Mordor. This is where we head off into the wilderness, going over that instead of continuing on to Tongariro. Isn't that magnificent? That's the end of our wilderness experience. 2 days worth. We're back on the superhighway of the Tongariro Northern Circuit. This is Joe, and this is Joe's dad. We've just got here to the hut, and Joe's already made us a cup of coffee. I mean, honestly, this is what hut wardens are supposed to be like. We've just been shown the secret way to get back to the desert road track. So if you're into off-track wilderness adventures, please continue watching, because this just keeps getting more epicness. So it's 1:30 in the morning, and it's quite heavy rain out there. Good morning, folks. Bit of a fitful night for me, but I was actually really quite warm, which is a little surprising. When I pulled my sleeping bag out last night of its pack, it was actually quite wet, but this is a hydro treated down bag, and you know what, I was as warm as ever. A bit later on we'll show you how I was only the 4-layer man instead of the 7-layer man. But yeah, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Stuart and I are just going to start packing up and get some hot drinks down on us.
Hey Dave, how much layers did you have on last night?
Oh look, saddle cone with you last time, I had 7 layers on.
So how many layers were you wearing last night?
Mate, I had all my layers on. Puffer, polar fleece, long sleeve merino, quick drying t-shirt, long sleeve merino, a short sleeve merino. Just call me the 7-layer man. But this time I had my $5 op shop merino, my long sleeve merino. Funny that it happens to be an orange. I've got this really heavy gauge merino over top, and my new Save Your Heat jacket. So at the moment it's on low heat, so this is 45 degrees Celsius, and if I turn this up to red, it goes right up to 65. So save your heat. So now all you need to do is call me the 4-layer man, because when you got an awesome jacket like this, you don't need those extra 3 layers. Oh, probably not quite as nippy though as it was up on Saddle Cone, but we still do have plenty of ice. Does life get any better than this, Stuart? Eh? Cheers, man. Cheers. What an epic day yesterday.
11 hours, was it?
Yeah, it was something like that. If you're new to my channel, you wouldn't have seen this, but if you watched Saddle Cone, you'll see that I took this tent as well. So this is a Dwight Outdoors Explore 1 XV with the footprint, and I do recommend that you buy the footprint. The floor of these tents is very thin, as are most ultralight tents. In total, I think it weighs up around about 1.7 kgs, and this has become my new favorite go-to tent. So it's the Dwight's Outdoor Explore 1. Once again, I'll leave a link in the description below, and you'll be able to get 15% off any of their items that are in the tent category, and even off the air mattress that I used last night, which is the Peak XV ultralight, and that's got an R rating. Oh geez, I think it's around about 4, and it was perfect last night. I was not cold at all. Anyway, just about packed up. It's currently at the moment 20 to 8, and we're going to get out of here like a bald man. Now, just making sure that there is no tent pegs or rubbish anywhere, and we look all good. And yeah, that was Stuart's campsite, so not bad little site really, eh?
Pretty good.
8 o'clock. I think we woke up at 6, so that's not too bad at going. And she's pretty clagged in. We're now continuing on the Tongariro the Tongariro Circuit, and we're going to hang off left and drop down towards Otoriri. But I've got a little bit of a shortcut. Well, it's probably not going to be a shortcut. I got a little bit more wilderness experience for Stuart in mind. So watch this space. Thank you so much for watching now. Not sure if this is the end or the start of a new video, but look, you know what to do if you're not a follower already. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and well, you can always be rest assured that you're going to get some pretty interesting hiking in with big days.
You ever seen a lake there before?
No, neither have I. So currently at the moment, Stuart and I are walking through Central Crater. Now Graham and I were here 2 years ago. We came straight off staying the night and saw the volcano, so go up and see that video. And again, there was nobody on the mountain because it was kind of Jamaica style winds, and our tent got flattened, and I'm sure that the tourists got called off on that day. It's pretty clagged in up on South Crater. But anyway, this is part of the Tongariro crossing. I think it's something like about 16 to 18 k's. She's certainly a full day, and if you haven't done so already and you have the fitness to be able to do so, I would highly recommend it. It is something absolutely special. Now, it's been years now since I've actually done the actual circuit because there's just too many people on the trail for me. And I just don't really feel that pioneering wilderness kind of experience that you get when you're hiking on your own. So yeah, it kind of spoils it a little bit. The ridgeline coming down here, it's all scree, and that's going up to the red crater. So we're not going to be doing that because we're going to be turning off real soon. Seriously, it's Sunday. Okay, other than maybe going to church, what else would you rather be doing? What? You don't want to go to church either? Well, that's your call. Your call, your journey. Okay, so we've just come from this direction. If you were heading down to the Kitahi car park, you still got 3 hours, 11 k's to go. We're heading this direction, but actually not going back to Otoriri. But if you're heading back to the hut, you got an hour 45, and we will be heading past Waihohonu Hut. So 4 hours, 12.7k. Actually be quite interesting to compare the distances. Now if you were going clockwise, you'll be heading up to the Mangatapopo car park, 10k, 4 hours, or the hut is just a little bit before that. Yeah, the Tongariro Alpine Crossing. And As you can see, coming down from Red Crater, there is just nobody there yet.
Yeah.
12:30, we should be back at the hut.
Yeah. Can you do this with little visibility?
Oh, you can't go too far wrong. It's always an adventure when you come out the Outdoorsman days. Do you think the terrace decide whether, the operators decide whether or not they're taking people in, don't they? Based on the weather.
Yep.
So maybe they've just, because I would have expected to see someone by now.
Yeah, I would have expected because,
They sort of get dropped off about 7 or something, don't they?
I know where I stayed at Discovery Lodge, we don't have a 5:45 shuttle. So you could be pretty much on the mountain at 6.
Interesting.
Quite a few of them came back.
Wow. Yeah. So this is Emerald Lake. Don't touch the water, don't throw stones in the water. Just something to respect the Māoridom. Though once upon a time people used to swim in it. Things have really changed. Things have really changed. Alright, so we just come down from Emerald Lakes and we're now just dropping down into the Tongariro Valley. For me, this is perhaps the most interesting part of the Tongariro National Park, and amongst these rocks, honestly, it is just like being in a moonscape. Not that I know what the moon is like, but anyway, so the track kind of follows this line through to here. If I knew where to look, I'd probably almost see the hut. But Stuart, I'm going to take Stuart on a cross country straight through here. So we're going to drop off the track to the right, and we're going to go through this barren desert land. There is a lot of land in there. So if you're into off-track wilderness adventures, please continue watching, because this just keeps getting more epicness. Is that even such a word? Right, so the plan is to pop over this off the track, and then we're going to head up. It's kind of hard to tell on the GoPro, but we're going to head up to that ridgeline up there and then pop off over the top. You can see the Tongariro track through here, so you normally go left and then go right, but we're going to try to go straight across. It's always an adventure when you come out with Outdoorsman Dave. Oh, honestly, where else would you rather be? I mean, look at these rock formations here. Honestly, it's like Lord of the Rings Mordor. Probably why they did Mount Doom on Mount Ngauruhoe. They're asking you to get up to there to the next junction. Good luck doing that in 10 minutes. This is not the Tongariro Alpine Crossing. Yeah, look, it would be my guess that a lot of people accidentally come this way. Anyway, I'm going to try to find a bit of water. But there's no water where we're going, and I've only got about 800 mil. And I do want to do another Radix hot meal at lunchtime. Now this 2-litre bladder, it's just fantastic. It's my emergency. I normally just have a little bit in this so that when I run out of water in my 1-litre bottle, I know that I've got some emergency water left. Right, so that's 800 mils. Be sure to burp your bladder so as to get all the air out of it. And this is my 1-litre aluminium can. Now in this I actually have electrolytes. I didn't get any cramp during the hike yesterday, but I got severe cramp at night because you start bending forward to get to gear. Anyway, my go-to secret to stopping cramp, believe it or not, is actually quickies, and I had a few of those last night and it instantly goes. While this is filling up, just because there's possibly going to be some armchair critics, we had an emergency situation yesterday. It was 7 o'clock when we came over the hill there at the North Crater, and we just had to find somewhere flat to camp. We were out of sight of the track. I just didn't have it in me to continue to walk through to Tongariro. So just to explain that in case someone has a bit of a go at me, you know, just kind of keep those negative comments to yourself. Anyway, there's 1 litre, and I'll just go and throw another couple of electrolytes in this. I'm directly opposite the Tongariro sign if you're looking for water. If anybody's wondering what electrolytes I use, whatever's cheapest. So I go to the Chemist Warehouse. Currently at the moment I'm working through this container, Hydrolite. It's an orange flavour, and yeah, you're supposed to have 1 of these for every 200 ml, so I've got about 4 in there at the moment. Hydrolite at a warehouse chemist near you. It's funny because you're leaning up against the back of this post and the post is going through the middle of your tent. It looks like your bum is hanging out the back of you. It's like these 2 big pink orange buttocks. No. Anyway, so I've got 1.8 litres now. And that water was absolutely fine. Mordor. Ahoy. Ruapehu over the back. We're just going to jump over this little thing here and heading straight to that far ridge line. Isn't this amazing? It is just like Mordor. In here you could camp easily. Now look, you might think me taking 10 minutes out to get some water, to be carrying an extra 1 to 2 kgs of water, is unnecessary, but can I tell you, if you're going into an area where you are unsure if you can fill up at a stream, that 10 minutes or that 2k carrying is a massive investment, because if you get dehydrated, you're likely going to get cramp, and can I tell you, that ain't no fun. So we've just come down the descent. We've just crossed over the stream, and this is where we head off into the wilderness, going over that instead of continuing on to Tongariro. So watch this space now. Would you look at that? Isn't that magnificent? The plains of Rohan. we're heading up on this ridgeline now. We'll go up about here, get up on the top and follow this down to Waihohonu Hut. How you feeling?
Great.
Well, good, eh?
Yep, it's good. Much easier than yesterday.
Anything's easier than yesterday. This is how we're going to get up onto the ridgeline, through this little bit through here. A little bit dangerous this side, and it gets more dangerous that side. This seems to be our only opportunity to get up onto this ridgeline. Well, that's the plan anyway. Isn't this magnificent area? Seriously, isn't this an amazing wilderness location? Now look, I wouldn't recommend you come here if you've got no water. There is no water anywhere. And I wouldn't recommend if you come in here if you're not really prepared for foul weather, because it could get quite cold. There's a nice little natural shelter if you get caught out. There's some pretty good views, but no water. What do you reckon? Would you stay here? How about this for a natural shelter, eh? Right, so I'm going to give this NZ Natural product a go. This one's the performance spray. I used it last night to stop cramp and it went away immediately. You're supposed to take this approximately every 30 to 45 minutes under the tongue, just one squirt, and apparently it gives you endurance. Yeah, kind of could do with that now, couldn't I? Alrighty, so we've just come up from the valley and onto this ridge, and we're going to carry on following this down to the forest over there. That's kind of where I think where that bridge is before Waihohonu. So yeah, magnificent countryside, isn't it? But not too many people get to see Tongariro Hut from this perspective. It's just about there. Anyway, we're heading up top of this, down that ridge line to Waihohonu Hut. And we've got to carry on down this magnificent ridge line. See the desert road over the back? Probably can't see that on the GoPro. Honestly, can't get in too much trouble here while you can see. A little bit exposed. And currently it's 10 to 11. Oh mate, this walking is tough. It's like a jolly highway. Haven't seen too many birds around, eh? No hurry, peeking out of the clouds. Who's still shrouded in cloud a little. We're heading a straight line up onto that ridge line, just through past the end of those trees, and then up on the old track. committed now. Reasonable current. Yeah, can't get in too much trouble there, eh? Not too much. Bring out the socks time. Fitville. These are a great boot. They're not waterproof once it gets in through the gusset, but they're waterproof right up until the edge. Yeah. I'll leave a link in the description, and yeah, you might want to purchase one of these online yourself. Now. Keep finding these little rock walls everywhere. This one's too small for a tent, but you'd probably just stick a fly over it. So yeah, we've come from up there and then down this ridgeline. Not long to go to the end of this. We will hopefully find a track. That moment when you first see a hut. Oh, hello. Actually, that moment when we first see a human being for the last 2 days. How are you? So there we are, folks. We're going down to Waihohonu, and we've got this charming young hunter here. First person we've seen. And there it is, folks. That's the end of our wilderness experience. 2 days worth. We're back on the super highway of the Tongariro Northern Circuit. Mate, look at everybody just walking past here. Right, onto the hut for some lunch, where I can break my fast. We're just coming down onto the Waihohonu campsite now, so if you didn't want to stay in the hut and you want to stay in the tent, why wouldn't you? Because that's hardly a hut. Some gear in there. That's about.
Running away.
Alright, so this is Joe, and this is Joe's dad.
Yes.
Believe it or not, he's actually old enough to be her dad. And look, we've just got here to the hut, and Joe's already made us a cup of coffee. I mean, honestly, this is what hut wardens are supposed to be like.
Oh, bless you,
Old-fashioned
Dave.
ones.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned ones.
Yeah.
She must have had a really good upbringing and a great role model dad. What do you reckon?
Oh well, they're their beast.
So we've just had the most wonderful time with Joe and her dad at the Waihohonu Hut. They're both wardens there, and yeah, we got cup of coffee and we've been sharing our life stories. They're really trying to encourage me to become a hut warden. And you know what? It doesn't sound like a bad plan once I retire. But we've just been shown the secret way to get back to the desert road track. And this is actually the original old coach road. So this apparently is going to save us a little bit of time. Oh, there we go. We're coming up onto the track now, so we don't go down into the river and then come back up again. So if you ever walk to Waihohonu Hut from Desert Road and you see this channel here and you kind of wonder what it is, well, it's actually the old coach road. So you know where the historic Waihohonu Hut is, number 1, where we stayed, well, where we went to today is number 3, and yeah, so the horses and carts used to come up here, and that's just how much it got worn down. Well, there you go, here's a piece of history for you now. Oh, the end is nigh. Oh, my car looks like it's still in one piece. What was your highs and lows?
Oh, highs are just the ever-changing landscapes, just the waterfalls that you never see on the track. Just beautiful, yeah. Lows, I think I fell into
The river
we seem to have a habit of standing on rocks that move in streams.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, wet feet. I hate walking in wet feet. Yeah, some fairly brutal uphills.
There was.
And yeah, the last section was just hot.
So my highs would be, honestly, we dropped down to some amazing majestic valleys. Stuff that I suspect that very few people have ever seen. So it was just amazing. It really filled my sense of adventure. The lows would, sadly I just lost my hydro pack, my 2-litre hydro pack, so that's around the Waihohonu stream. If you follow my track, if you see me on YouTube when I post that, and then coming up from that majestic waterfall at the bottom of Kiitahi Hot Springs, and then that slug up until the track, up to about where the toilets were. That would have been my low. But yeah, overall this has just been an epic weekend. Got the weather just right, no rain, that just made it so much easier. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if this is where we're going to finish. I need to get a coldie, but if you're still watching, thank you so much. You know what to do. Don't forget to hit the like, hit that follow, and well, rest assured that you will get to go on another exciting adventure with Outdoorsman Dave again, hopefully real soon. Catch you later now.